Hello everyone! We reached 500 subscribers and I just think that's absolutely nuts. And I just wanted to say thank you all for your support and for commenting under videos, because I have a lot of fun hearing your guys' opinions and talking to you guys about it. And it's just a lot of fun to have a place to talk about what I like, and I think it's really great that all of you guys decided to subscribe to me and want to hear more, so thank you so much for that. And I thought it would be fun to do a video reacting to your Ninjago opinions or hot takes for 500 subscribers. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to try to get to as many as possible. I might not read out the names if they're too long, but I will show if they're too long or too complicated, but I will show your comment on the screen. So let's get started. Congratulations on 500 subscribers. Thank you. First hot take: the Forbidden Five are the best designed villains. I love their designs. Also, Noct is one of my favorite villains. I do think they are some of the best designed villains. I think that just comes with the show aging, and they're getting the minifigures are becoming more complex. I mean, when the show first started, the minifigures weren't that they didn't have that many unique parts. That most of them use pre-existing pieces, especially the ninja. Jay is a generic Lego man basically in the original seasons. But yeah, I do think the Forbidden Five are really interesting and definitely the best designed. I definitely think Rox is the best designed because she freaking scares me so much, and she's literally a Lego, but she scares me. So I do agree with this hot take. And I also think Noct may be one of my favorite villains as well. Maybe. I think I need to see more of him, but he is very intimidating and cool, and I think he's definitely up there with some of my favorite villains. Hot take number 2, Bonzo is a great character and needs more love. It's not that she gets zero love, but she needs more. I do agree. I think Bonzo is a great character. I do think a lot of people do appreciate her as a character, but definitely the bigger fan base. I mean, if you're on Ninjago TikTok, you know how people are over there. But yeah, I think Bonzo is a great character, and she brought so much great lore to the show that I think is really awesome. So yeah, I definitely agree with this one. Bonzo is a great character. Hot take number 3, Candelaria is a better mom than Misako, who abandoned her son to go on a history project. Okay, yeah, I think you're right. I guess, do I agree with this? I think maybe 50-50, because Candelaria didn't really, wait, I'm kind of forgetting the war. Did Bonzo leave because she wanted to, or did she just get separated from Candelaria? I don't remember. But anyhow, I do think that Candelaria probably is a better mom than Misako, because Misako did abandon her son out of school for villains. Hot take number 4, Roz is one of the best villains in Ninjago top 3. Definitely agree. I think he's a top 3. I think he's made it into my top 3 villains. I think it's Harumi, but not counting crystallized Harumi, and then Moro, and then him, because he's done a lot of bad things, and I think he's written very well, and I love Roz. The final hot take: elemental powers don't matter, the character matters. I've seen people hate on my boy Frack just because he has a power similar to Cole. So what? Frack is still a great character. That gets me mad. So yeah, I think I agree with that. Definitely, the character definitely matters more than the elemental powers, especially, I mean, maybe in the past, in the early seasons, the elemental powers were a bit more important because we only really thought the ninja had them until season 4. But as the show has gone on, it's just the writers have decided to add more powers and make the world bigger, and sometimes that means the powers are just gonna start making less and less sense, which could be annoying to the lore crazy people. But honestly, it doesn't bother me that much. I don't really care that Kai has fire and Wildfire has heat, and I don't really care that Frack has Quake and Cole has Earth. They're both really cool. It's kind of their powers are sub-genres of their powers, I guess I'd say. So I don't really care. I think I definitely agree with you. The character matters more, and I think Frack is a wonderfully written character. And then you also say congratulations on 500 subscribers again. You deserve it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for your comment, and I'm going to move on to the next one. Thank you for making great videos. My hot take is I think Day of the Departed and Hands of Time are some of the best parts of the show. I half agree with this. I think Day of the Departed is one of the best parts of the show because I think it gives a lot more character development to Cole, and Day of the Departed was kind of the first Cole-centric full like thing we got. I mean, like, we got episodes with that were Cole centered in the past, but like I definitely think that Day of the Departed was his first like big centerpiece, and it delves into more of his insecurities and stuff, and it gives more space to like explore him as a character, and I think it's very underrated in the fandom. And yeah, it's also one of my favorite pieces of Ninjago media. I freaking love it. Hands of Time I kind of split on. I think Hands of Time has good aspects to it. It has good concepts, and I do like some parts of the seasons. I do like Lloyd's arc as like trying to step into the master role while Master Wu is sick. I do like that. I just think it would have fit better earlier in the show, but I do like where the idea they were going for, and I do think it's like worthy to be considered, and I think there are parts of Hands of Time that work really well, but overall it's not one of my favorite seasons. But honestly, it sets up a lot of good stuff for the Oni trilogy with the time travel stuff and Master Wu, so you gotta appreciate it for that. So I have to agree with your take. Thank you so much for your comment. Congrats, you deserve it. Anyways, I have some opinions, so thank you so much. It's so nice of you to say. So we're gonna go through all of these. Number 1, Misako isn't nearly as bad as the fandom makes her out in my opinion. She's just quite poorly written because early 2010s Ninjago writers. Of course she isn't a perfect mom by any stretch of the imagination, but the amount of hate I see from Misako just annoys me. I'm sorry, you said mum, not mom. But yeah, I think I have to agree with this. I do think it's dumb that she left her son at boarding school for like evil villains. Like, I think that's stupid. I think that kind of brings her character down a lot. I think if she had left him anywhere else that wasn't nearly as bad, I think she wouldn't be so frowned upon in the fandom. But I do think she is wildly overhated. I think she was a character that was just shoehorned into the plot, and they were just like, how do we make her make sense? And they didn't really succeed at that, so I don't know how they made her make sense. But I do think it's like worthy to note that Lloyd does forgive her in the narrative, and I think like, why can't we forgive her? Like, it's been 14 years now. Like, we can forgive her, I think. But like, I've never hated Misako quite as much as everyone else does. I do think there's some things she did that were dumb, but like, yeah, she isn't perfect, but I think she's much better like as we see her after maybe from like season 5, 6 onwards. Maybe not all 5 because they still have that Wu triangle, but as a mom I think she's better like after we learn the backstory. Like, the backstory is what brings her character down. The backstory is just so convoluted and dumb. But yeah, I do agree with you. Okay, next one. Cole and Gio is utterly adorable, but I hope that they delve into Gio as a character more because there's a few interesting things that they seem to set up for him. Yes, I 100% agree. I love Cole and Gio so much. I ship them so hard, so if you don't ship them, maybe just leave my channel now. But like, I love them so much, but I do think Gio is a very strong character on his own, and I would be very interested in seeing like more about his past and seeing more about him developing as maybe like an elemental master. Maybe he joins a ninja. I'm not sure if that's gonna happen, but I do know that the Finders are probably living with him now, so it would be interesting. But yeah, I don't know. I think Gio's a very interesting character, and I think he has a lot of potential for more like stories, so I hope they go into his character more and not just the relationship aspect, if there even is one, because I mean, it's heavily implied, but I don't think they'll ever confirm it, unfortunately, because that's just the state of the world nowadays, especially with kid shows. I mean, why don't we follow Steven Universe's like lead? But you know, I do think he has a lot of potential, and I hope they look more into him. Your third hot take is, I hope that Moro and Moro alone isn't the one to make Eren go back to the ninja. I feel like he could be there to give him advice and tell him that his new master is a terrible person, but he shouldn't be the sole reason for his redemption, if he gets one. It would be extremely funny if they team up though. Okay, I 100% agree with this. I don't want Moro to be the sole reason for Eren to go back to the ninja. I do want to see Eren and Moro interact, but I don't want Moro to be the one to convince him. I just want him to give him advice that is going to stick with him, and I want Eren to keep going for a while, and eventually he's gonna like remember this advice, and he's gonna get more advice from other people, and he's gonna take all of this into account, and hopefully he'll be redeemed. I want him to be redeemed. I don't think he's not gonna be redeemed, at least I don't know if he's gonna be redeemed in season 3, but I think he will be redeemed by like the end of like the entire show, which I hope is later rather than sooner. But like, I don't know, I don't think he's not gonna be redeemed at all. So, but if he isn't redeemed at all, I would be very surprised. I wouldn't be mad at it, but I would be very surprised. I do think it would be funny if they teamed up. Imagine like we all think that Moral's gonna convince him not to, and then they just like team up instead. That would be very funny. But honestly, like, Moral had a redemption arc, so I think he will try to convince him to go back. But I guess we'll see. I mean, what is it, 2 months until season 3 comes out? Almost there. And hot take number 4, I genuinely love Prime Empire. I don't think this is much as a hot take. I think a lot of people do genuinely love this season. Maybe not a lot of people, but I feel like the fandom is pretty split on this, maybe from my perspective, but I could be wrong. I do think that Prime Empire is good in terms of concept and like character design, and just like it has so many cool ideas. Where I find it lacks is the character development. I feel like there isn't much character development for our main like cast. Like we get Okino, and I really love that, and we get a little bit of Racer 7 development, but other than that we don't really get much with the ninja, and I think that's what makes it fall a little lower for me, is just because character development is where I shine. I love that stuff. So like I see so much potential for Jay's story to be so much bigger in Prime Empire. Like I see so much that they could have done with him there, and also with Unagami, honestly, with our main villain, and I just wish they did more of that. But I do respect your opinion. I do think Prime Empire is very cool in terms of aesthetics and like the way that they get into the world of Prime Empire. I was very hooked when it came out. Like when it first came out, I would say I probably loved it way more than I do now, just because of the vibes and the concept alone. And I still have a great appreciation for it, but it's not one of my favorites. But thank you so much for all your hot takes. They were very, very good. Okay, next up, congrats. Thank you. Also, I think the newer seasons are so much better than the old ones. The only thing the old ones have going for them is nostalgia, but other than that, most of the newer seasons, including Dragon's Rising, have just been going in a much better direction. Not to say the old seasons don't have really great moments too. I'm gonna say, I don't know if I fully agree with this, but I somewhat agree with this. I think the old ones do have strong character development and strong arcs, but they do have that unfortunate nostalgia like dumped onto it, which is very like disheartening, I guess, to see like a lot of people saying like, oh, this is so much better than the new stuff just because it's old. You know, like it's still, I think the earlier seasons are still really great, and I think they have a lot going for them, more than nostalgia, but the newer seasons don't have that nostalgia factor to them, and I think that gives them more space to have character development and growth and more interesting stories and do prolonged arcs like how we've been seeing in Dragon Rising, and like even the Vengestone arc in Wild Brain, like I mean it wasn't really an arc, it was more of just like hints that they were dropping, but like even that was more than they used to do in the past. Like they didn't really have a lot of overarching plots in the past, and I think that's what makes the older seasons just a little lower, but I wouldn't say completely lower because I still love a lot of them a lot. Like Possession is definitely still up there for me. I love that season, but I do have to say a lot of the earlier seasons do have a lot of cringy dialogue in them, which makes it a little hard for me to watch, but I do like those ones. I do like those ones a lot still. I'd say I agree with you maybe like 3/4. I agree with you 3/4. But I do think the newer seasons, let's say Dragon's Rising. I think Dragon's Rising is miles better than the original, like, earlier seasons, but I wouldn't say the same for Wild Brain, just because I feel like they had a lot more potential to go into character development, and they didn't really do any of that, unfortunately. But thank you so much for your comment. I think it's very interesting, and, like, I love talking about, like, this weird nostalgia quality that people give to the earlier seasons. I did a video about it actually, nostalgic media, and I talked a lot about Ninjago in that video, as well as other stuff, but like, yeah, nostalgia in media is like such a weird thing nowadays to me, especially in like fandoms, because people take it way too far. Like, they will say the most crazy stuff, and then they'll friggin' hate on the new stuff just because they can. It's like, and you know, like, they did not watch the new stuff. Okay. Next comment. Yes, this is fantastic. I was waiting. $4.99 was there for a while. Well done. Oh, thank you so much. That's very sweet of you to say. Hot takes. Let's start with the first one. Ninjago got better in many ways as it went on, and is peak is probably Dragon's Rising or the Oni trilogy. The old stuff was consistently better, but there are gems in the later seasons. Okay, this is kind of like the previous, the hot take we just went over, so I'll go into this one just a little bit. I do think the peak is the Oni trilogy. I think that will always be the peak, but I don't know, maybe I think Dragon's Rising might overshadow it. It might, I don't know. I think in the grand scheme of things, the Oni trilogy is the peak, but for me, the peak is Dragon's Rising. Like, I friggin' love this show. I think it's so good, and it's expanding on the world so much. And I think a lot of people need to watch it if they haven't, because it's so good. And I definitely think there are gems in the later seasons. I think a lot of seasons like Master Mountain and honestly the Fire chapter are like underrated, and like the Fire chapter honestly has a lot of similarities to, like, in terms of vibes, to like season 1 and 2 of Ninjago. So anyone who hates on that needs to go and watch them back to back and tell me what you think after that about the vibes. But yeah, I agree with that. I do think Ninjago definitely got better as it went on, and I think that's just natural for a show, and I don't think that's a bad thing to admit. I don't think it should be a hot take, you know, like, shows should get better as they progress. Like, I can think of many shows that I like that started off strong, got like better, and then friggin' like fell off by the end, like How I Met Your Mother. But that's like one of my favorite shows. But like, yeah, shows should get better. I do not think they should get worse, and it should not be a hot take to say that. Okay, next one. Nia had the biggest glow up out of the redesigns, which were good overall. Redesigns are definitely better. They're so good. And Nia, yeah, I definitely agree. Nia had the best glow up. She needed it. If you watch my ranking video with my sister, we did not like her old hairpiece. She looks so goofy. But yeah, I agree with this. Okay, next. Jay suffered worse than Zane in terms of character assassination. I think I'm going to have to somewhat agree with this. I don't know if he suffered worse. I think they're kind of equal in it, because I mean, Zane really, in the Wild Brain seasons, he really was just like the robot. He didn't really have much to do. Even the Ice Emperor arc, when it was over, they never talked about it. They never got like any of that stuff. So yeah, so I don't know. I think their character assassination is kind of like on the same level, unfortunately. Like, at least Jay got like a little bit of like angst with Nia and like Seafound, and like the first few episodes of Crystallize, he got like a little bit of that. But like the whole Zane thing with him turning off his emotions at the beginning of Crystallize, I'm sorry, like the show was like 15 seasons in. He never would have done that 15 seasons in. Maybe he would have done that like, I don't know, like what is it, Hands of Time era maybe, but I don't think Crystallize, like, he was way too like developed in terms of his emotions. Like, I think that was a really dumb decision. And I don't know, in Dragon's Rising, I feel like Jay has gotten better character development, so his character's coming back from that place they put him in. But Zane, I'm kind of mixed on him right now, because he's kind of been stagnant, just the same as Wild Brain. But he did have some moments in season 1 where he was missing Pixel, which I think were really sweet, and are probably some good signs of what's to come in season 3 with this character, especially since he's like the mascot character in the box. I'm hoping that he has like some more focus. But yeah, I don't know if I think I'm like half agreeing. I don't know if I'm half agreeing. I think Zane is a bit worse, honestly. I think they were level in the Wild Brain era, and now in Dragon's Rising. I think Zane is still a bit worse. Oh dang, I didn't read through the rest of your thing. He had a deep moment in Hunted and was quite great throughout the Oni trilogy and also Prime Empire. But for the rest, he was mostly a baby. His humor took a huge nosedive. He was generally just whiny and scared for essentially all his screen time. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, they definitely took him down a lot. I'm so happy for you. You deserve it. I love your videos. Thank you so much. That's so kind of you to say. Okay. My hot take is that Dragon's Rising may be my favorite Ninjago story of all time. I agree with you. I think the more I'm thinking about it, I think Dragon's Rising I might like better than the original series. But that might also just be because it's new. But I do think they aren't really showing any signs of slowing down with this like consistent greatness, so I agree with you 100%. Okay, this person has 6 hot takes, so let's go through them all. And I saw the first one before I reacted to this. I'm trying to blind react to them all, but I saw the first one before because it just came up on my notifications, but like I really wanted to react to it. So though not by a lot, I like We Rise more than the original Weekend Whip. They're 2nd and 5th place on my Ninjago songs ranking respectively. Honestly, I like this hot take. I think a lot of people seem to not like We Rise. Sorry. But I do like the song. I don't know if I like it more than the Weekend Whip, but I do think it's really good and underrated in the fandom, and I don't know. Maybe I should do a Ninjago songs ranking, but I do like it a lot. So I think I like half agree with you because I'm not sure my own ranking yet. Number 2. I also think that the 11-minute era whips are much better than the pre-movie era whips. Wicked, Arcadian, Shintaro Dungeon, and Crystallized together with the OG are my top 5 whips. Ghost and Temporal are not far behind though. Yeah, so I think, honestly I'm blanking on the whips. I think I need to re-listen to them all. But I do like the Ghost whip a lot. I think it's easier to say that the 11-minute era ones are better because they're all different and unique and fit their seasons, and like the first few seasons of like the show were just like the same theme song, like season 1 and 2, and then they kind of switched it up. But yeah, I think I would agree with you. I like the vibes that the 11-minute era whip set, like definitely like the Shintaro one. I like that one a lot. And the Prime Empire one always gets me pumped, so I love that one too. Okay, 3rd one. Eye of the Storm is the most underrated non-whip double song. It is my 3rd favorite after the Wicked Whip and We Rise. I don't think I've ever heard that one. I should check it out. Number 4. I get that Hands of Time is one of the worst seasons in terms of its production quality, and I do see its flaws, but I have it in the middle of my season ranking because I just always have fun watching it. Despite a lot of people saying that the middle part is boring, I personally have never been bored watching it. Honestly, I love this hot take. More power to you. I love that. If you have fun watching something, don't let anyone like make you not like it. Like what you like. Like just because I say I don't like something doesn't mean you have to hate it too. Like seriously, just love what you love, have fun watching what you like. Like maybe that's how people feel when I say like I love Dave the Departed. Like I have fun watching it. It makes me feel something. I like to watch it, so I watch it and I have fun, and I don't let people make me feel bad about that, and I completely agree with that. I think Hands of Time has good parts to it, and I do remember liking quite a few parts of it, but just in terms of like my own enjoyment, I don't usually return to it. But like if you like it, keep watching it. More power to you. I love it. Number 5. The first realm part of Hunted is by far my favorite arc in the entire show. A few weeks ago I rewatched Hunted again, and it still amazes me just how good this season is, and I got reminded once again why it is my favorite season. Honestly, yeah, I love Hunted so much. I think it is so underrated in terms of the Oni trilogy. I feel like a lot of people always talk about season 8, and I love season 8 so much. I might like it a little bit more, but like Hunted is so good. I love how they explore the first realm, and like I love all the side characters that they introduce, and like the dragons are so cool, and all of the 4 ninja get something interesting to do. Actually, I don't remember what Zane does, but like I like Jay's thing with building like the fake dragon, and I like Cole's thing of looking after Wu, and I like how Kai and Zane are doing stuff. But I do remember there's one part where Kai is like talking to Wu, and I do like that scene a lot. And I think the first realm was just like one of the most interesting things the show did, definitely. And yeah, I love the Oni trilogy so much. I think Hunted is so good. I agree with you. It is one of it is like definitely one of the best arcs of the show. Okay, so your last hot take is Skybound is by far my least favorite season. I dislike basically everything about it except for the finale. I don't get how so many people don't like it. It's literally the only good thing to come out of the season in my opinion. When I rewatched the entire show last summer, I skipped almost the entirety of it because I disliked this season so much. Honestly, yeah, I do like the finale. I think the finale is probably the best part about the whole season because it reverses all the crazy stuff that happens. And I do think it's sweet that Nia and Jay both remember it, but there is a lot to dislike about Skybound. But, yeah, that I wish that they didn't remember. But, like, I do think the finale is very good, and I also don't get how people don't like the finale because it reverses everything that people don't like about this season. Thanks for your hot takes. Okay, next one. Oh, this is long. Okay, Hunted is better than SOG. Most people describe SOG as the season that leaves your jaw on the floor, and Hunted is a great continuation, just not on the same level. For me, it's always been the other way around. Honestly, yeah, I do see that. I think Hunted is a bit better in some capacities. I do like Sons of Garmadon more, but I don't know. I think Hunted has more wow factor when it comes to exploring new parts of the world, like different realms, and when it comes to delving more into the lore, especially with like the Oni not being there and leaving that mystery up in the air. I do think that's valid. Great hot take. Number 2, the island is great. I don't understand a lot of the criticisms leveled against it, the biggest being Ronan. Everyone's saying he's really out of character, but I'd argue it's probably the best installment for his character aside from his intro and possession. Crusty783 is a really great video that explains this more thoroughly. Yeah, I think I've watched that. It's also the most rewatchable installment out of all of the short Ninjago installments. The pilot has really dated production qualities, Day of the Departed is really forgettable in my opinion, and March of the Oni is too tied to the rest of the Oni trilogy. Also, the Oni just suck, they're terrible villains in every way. Okay. I do think the island is great, I agree with you a lot. I do think it's definitely one of those short things that you can watch, like just binge watch all 4 episodes. I definitely agree. I've done that a lot of times. I think I've rewatched The Island quite a bit. And yeah, I do think the criticisms don't make sense, but I do think the criticisms are there because people think that when The Island was coming out, we all thought that it was going to be like a new season, and then it ended up being just like a little special. So I think that's why people don't like it as much, but I don't know. I don't think that's very valid with what we know now. But like, I do love The Island a lot. I agree with you. And yeah, I don't know. I do think I like Days of the Departed more, but that's just my own opinion. But yeah, I like The Island a lot, and I think Ronan is in character. I've always thought Ronan is pretty well characterized aside from a few things. But yeah, I don't think The Island does him dirty in any way. I think he's pretty good. Number 3, probably my biggest hot take, Dragon's Rising Season 2 is just okay, but nowhere near one of the greatest seasons of the show. This is going to be interesting. A lot of the character stuff is awesome, but I have a lot of very specific issues with certain aspects which I'll briefly list. Rising Dragon technique is an auto win button, and if the majority of the A plot in part 1 is learning the auto win button, I will struggle to be invested in that plotline. Okay. Well, you could also argue that Shatter Spin is an auto win button. So, like, I don't know. I don't think I agree with you on that. I think Rising Dragon's too cool, and it's not like they learned it, like, immediately, so I think that makes the plot a bit more interesting, and I like the way that Kai learns it, how it's kind of tied to their past and his connection with Nia, and yeah, I think the way that they all unlock it is interesting, and I think Rising Dragon is really cool, so I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that one, but I like hearing your thoughts, so yeah. When we learn that the winner of each round of the tournament steals the loser's powers in episode 12, part 2, episode 2, it's flaws that Noct will end up the victor, because if he loses, they'd have to reveal his actual elemental power, which for some reason this season was allergic to. And since the ninja have an auto-win button in Rising Dragon, the tournament must be rigged so that Noct can win. We also know that Blacked and Roby are the only two who could possibly rig the games, and between the two, it will end up being Blacked because he expressly stated that he didn't want the ninja being there. And the reason he would want to rig the games would have to be because of Roby's modernization of them, which he hates, and is the only other thing we know about him. All of this gets spoiled in episode 2, why? Honestly, I think I agree with you a little bit. Yeah, I think I definitely expected Noct to win because, like, yeah, the villains have to get control of the power and we have to have that big, like, climactic battle at the end of the season. So I do think that was spoiled. maybe not necessarily spoiled because we didn't know for sure, but like saying that everyone gets an elemental pouch is like, oh yeah, it's probably gonna go to someone where it's gonna further the plot. So yeah, I guess you're right there. And yeah, the rig thing, yeah, I always thought it was either Buck or Roby too, and I think that's like the only options we really have. I don't know, I guess it's just maybe if they added some more characters, but I feel like the show already has a lot of characters. I see where you're coming from with a lot of this. But yeah, I think I half agree with you here. I hate that they clearly didn't want to start the Jay plot here, but they need to because they needed any information that Jay Walker has I also have for the Roz and Aaron plotline, and they already committed to having his minifig in the sets. It also would have made sense for the bulk of the Jay plot to happen during a tournament arc, because it's an easy way to get all characters in the same location so that the plot can happen, but then he just left after an episode, so yeah, I think I half agree with you here. I think I like how the Jay plot happens in the tournament, and I definitely think that line where Roz is like, any information that Jay has, I has, is very powerful in their arc, I think it works really well. And I think they needed Jay to show up at some point, so yeah, maybe they didn't want to. I never really got the vibe that they didn't want to start the Jay plot here, but it would make sense because honestly a lot of the show is driven by like what sets they're gonna make, right? Like I don't know if there's ever been a definitive answer as to whether like the sets come first or the show comes first. I think it's kind of a mix. But yeah, that might have been a factor in it. I never really thought about that, but it's an interesting point. And honestly, I don't really care that he leaves after an episode, in my opinion. I think it just leaves more room to speculate, at least for me, but like, I get how some people are annoyed by that. Rontu and the Motion Dragon don't really have a personality. They feel like bland characters that take you through a tutorial in a video game, and then you finish said tutorial and never think about them again. I kind of agree with that. I think Rontu maybe a bit more personality. I think she's a bit... Well, you remember in that like one episode, like the first episode she was in, they kind of gave her a personality kind of like Roby, and then in the rest of the season they kind of like scratched that, and that was kind of weird. I think Rontu's is okay. I like her as a character, but like, I don't know, I think they spent too much time focusing on Eagle's like backstory that they didn't really get into Rontu, and I think maybe in the future they could, but I don't know, I like Rontu for what she is, and I think she's pretty good. I like Rontu. But the Motion Dragon, I do agree, she doesn't really have a personality, and I don't really think they really need to, you know? I think that's their whole point, is to like guide the ninja through. I don't know, the Motion Dragon's fine to me. She's okay. I do agree with you, she doesn't have a personality, but like, I don't know, does she need one? I have a lot of other grievances with this season, I'm just tired of typing. Honestly, thank you so much for this hot take. It was very interesting to read through, and like, yeah, I don't know. I really love Dragon's Rising Season 2, so it's hard for me to like say that I completely agree with you, but I do agree with some of your points. I don't know, I just think it does so much good character work that I like it so much. Maybe that's just why, I have no idea. Maybe I should do a retrospective on the entire season, but I do like the season a lot. But I always like hearing when people have valid reasons for like not liking new stuff, because especially like on Ninjago TikTok and Ninjago like Instagram, people are like, oh, Dragon's Rising sucks because there's like, oh, the ninja disappear, blah blah blah. It's like, you probably didn't even watch it. Like, you don't have a valid reason for not liking it. Like, this season sucks because Dareth isn't in it. Like, come on. But like, you have valid reasons, and I love hearing it. So yeah, thank you so much for your comment. Congrats, thank you. My hot take is that when I go back to watch the old Ninjago, I miss the new ninja. I love them so much, LMAO. Honestly, is it funny that I was actually thinking about this the other day? Like, I was watching some episodes from like season 2, and I was thinking, oh, I kind of miss Wildfire and Sora and Aaron, and I was like, I kind of wish they were here too. I just like, yeah, I've just been thinking like, oh, it's so different how the show has changed, that we have like these new characters that like, they did not exist for the first like 13-12 years of the show. Like, that's kind of insane to think about, and now they're here and it's hard to imagine the show without them. But yeah, I love the new ninjas so much. Like, it's like, oh, I wish they were in the old stuff, but I still love the old stuff. Thank you so much for this comment. Okay, here's the next hot take. Frack should not be in the ninja team, assuming he is because of the season 3 teaser. He is just a friend of Aaron and a competitor in the Source tournament that Ben helped at the end. I saw him as Griffin Turner, Karloff, Shade, Tox, etc., all the other Elemental Masters. Just because he was a fan of Void just kind of makes it even more awkward for him to be on the team thoroughly. I don't think I agree with you, I'm sorry. No, I love Frack. I think he should be on the team. I think Frack's advantage over characters like Griffin Turner and Karloff and Shade is that he actually has a room to join the team. Like, in the past, they definitely wouldn't have added any of those Elemental Masters to the team. They wouldn't have added any new ninjas. Like, Skyward was never going to join the team. But I think it's really great that in Dragon's Rising they have the space to add these new characters. Like, Frack can definitely be in the team now. I don't think he's just a friend of Eren. I think he has, like, his own personality. I think he has his own, like, struggles, definitely with, like, learning that his master was actually evil and, like, trying to deconstruct that, like, mindset that he gave him. I think it's going to be very interesting, and I think he should join the team, and I'm excited to see that. And I don't know, Eren was a fan of Void, so, and he's on the team. Well, he was. So I don't know. I don't agree with you, but interesting opinion. We should have had more time with Administration J. Don't get me wrong, I love Wolf Warrior J and I'm excited for Rogue, but Administration J and the Administration in general had so much untapped potential as an antagonist. Also, Prime Empire is slept on. Okay, I like sort of agree with you with this. I think the Administration is so cool and it's one of my favorite parts of Dragon's Rising, and I think they could be a really great antagonist, and I don't know, I kind of have this like theory that they were kind of like chasing Jay before he became part of the Administration, and then he kind of like disguised himself as like an Administration agent. So like, I don't know, I feel like maybe they were chasing him to like, maybe they thought his elemental power was bad and then he like disguised himself and like just joined them so he could have some peace or something. That's like my kind of theory, which I wish they would like explain more about like how he got there, and I hope they do. But I do think Administration J is cool, and it would have been really fun to have like more of him. I think it would have been interesting to have him actually like see maybe like Cole or Zane in that episode where he like almost respawned. So I think that would have been cool, but like I get why they didn't, and I think it makes it cooler for like the tournament. But yeah, I do think Administration J is really cool, and he's like such a cool like character to theorize about, and like I don't know, like cosplay, honestly. Like I would love to cosplay him. But like I think he's really cool, and I do think he has a lot of untapped potential, and so to the Administration, like yeah, I hope they come back. I think they definitely will, because they've already showed up in both of the seasons. I don't know about Administration J, unfortunately, though. Maybe we'll get some flashbacks. A girl can dream. Okay, and your other comment, Prime Empire slept on. Yeah, so I went into that a bit earlier, but I do think it's slept on in some areas, so yeah, I like half agree. Season 7, Day of the Departed and Prime Empire get a lot more hate than necessary. I sort of agree. I think they all have good parts to them. I loved Day of the Departed, you guys already know this. But like Season 7 and Prime Empire, I think do get a lot of hate. I get why Season 7 gets the hate, and I get why Prime Empire gets the hate, but they do have like a lot of good things about them, and I think they get a bit too much hated on at some points, but they do deserve some of it. So I don't know, I like half agree with you again. I'm doing a lot of half agrees. Okay, here are my hot takes. Let's go. Number 1, let's start things off with something spicy. Okay. The Overlord is a terrible villain. He is bad in every season he is in, bland and boring, and his whole character is I want to take over the world. Terrible villain. Yeah. I do think he's definitely not as interesting as a lot of the other villains. I do think it was kind of interesting how he like was manipulating Garmadon in season 2, but other than that, he's just boring. He's like, I'm evil, I do evil things. I agree with you. Number 2, Eren, Sora, Ryu, Wildfire, and Frack are the best thing to happen to the show. They're amazing characters, with all of them having great personalities, great humor, incredible dynamic with the ninja, and most importantly, amazing stories. The new characters are amazing, I love them all. 100% agree, I love them so much. They're definitely some of the best things to happen to the show, especially since they joined like so late in the show. They become new characters so late in the show. The writers know how to write these characters. They know how to make them interact with other ninja. They're developing the other ninja as well because of these characters, and I think they're all just great, and they all have different types of humor and great personality, and they all just mesh together so well, and I love them so much. Number 3, a very hot take, but if I'm being honest, I hate Master Wu. He is an idiot who never tells the ninja anything, like in Crystallized. He knew the Overlord would return, but didn't tell the ninja because he thought he had more time to prepare. Are you kidding me? I agree. I kind of thought that was stupid that he he thought that the Overlord would return, but he didn't like say anything. I think that's the problem with having like a wise master character, is that like they're gonna shoehorn this like idea that they knew something was coming and that they just didn't tell them for no reason. Like, it's so weird to me. I did like Wu in season 1 and season 2, and I like his dynamic with Garmadon. And honestly, I'm glad Lloyd is a new master, and Kai is also a fantastic master. Please stay gone, Wu. We don't need him. I do like Wu a lot in like the earlier seasons. I think he was a much better character. I think because they thought the show was gonna end in season 2, so he didn't really have anything to hide from them then. But then like after that, his character just started to fall apart, because it's like, you knew all these things and you didn't tell us. It's weird. Yeah, I really hope they don't bring Master Wu back. I don't think they will, but there's always a chance they do, and I hope they don't. He doesn't need to come back. I like that Lloyd is a new master. I love his master arc, and I think Kai is also gonna be a great master too. I think he's kind of still working up to that, but yeah, I agree with this. Number 4. I don't know if this counts as a hot take, but Dragon's Rising Season 3 is shaping up to be one of the best seasons of Ninjago. Look, we have Eren and Ross teaming up, Evil J, Frag joins the ninja team, all the ninja drama, Zane getting focus, Pixel and Moral coming back, the Forbidden Five, who are some of the most coolest villains of Ninjago. Seriously, Season 3 is shaping up to be great. I agree with you 100%. I think it's going to be really good. I think it's going to be awesome. We have like so many interesting things to explore in this season, and like I have a lot of trust that it's going to be really good. I've loved season 1 and season 2. I think it's going to be great, and I'm so excited to see my girl Pixel again. I love her. Okay. The final hot take, Dragon's Rising is my favorite season of Ninjago. I love Dragon's Rising. I agree with you. I love Dragon's Rising so much. Might be becoming... I think I put it in the top of my ranking. I love it so much. Once again, congratulations on 500 subscribers. You deserve it. Your videos are amazing. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. Those are really good hot takes. This one is similar to the other ones, but I still want to show on the screen. Season 7 is an underrated masterpiece that deserves more love. I don't know if it's a masterpiece, but it does have a lot of underrated aspects. I think, as I mentioned before, the Lloyd storyline and the whole time travel stuff I think is very interesting. I don't know if it's a masterpiece. I think I 25% agree with you here. Okay, next one. Season 6 isn't that bad, it's just more story based. I don't know. Aren't all seasons supposed to be story based? I don't know. I don't know if I agree with you, because I think a good season needs to have a good story, but also needs to have character development in some sense. Any sort of character development. Bad character development, good character development, just anything that makes you care about how these characters are growing and evolving, and just like making decisions and what they do, their actions, like how they're becoming different. Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't think I agree with you, because the story isn't even, I don't think the story interests me that much either. Like, it's basically just nautical and like, oh, I'm gonna get back at the ninja, but like, I don't know, shouldn't he just be trying to get back at Nia? Like, why the other ones? Why is he framing them for crimes? Like, I think that's kind of falls short in that sense, but like, I don't know. I don't think season 6 story is strong enough to give it like any more love than it already gets, honestly. I think this season is honestly just a mess. There's like some good parts. I like the finale, just like probably like the last like 5 minutes of the finale, but like most of it is just really, really hard to get through. I don't know, but I really appreciate your comment. Thank you so much, but I do not agree. Okay, this was the one I was waiting for. I saw this one by accident before I started recording, like 2 days before, and I've been thinking about this one, so I'm excited to talk about this. I think Cole should have been the Green Ninja. I love this because every time I hear anyone's like talking about the Green Ninja thing, they're always like, I think I should have been the Green Ninja, or I think Jay should have been the Green Ninja. I never hear Cole or Zane. Maybe Zane more than Cole, but I like never hear Cole. So I like this opinion. I think that if Cole was the Green Ninja, the show would be so different. Like, I don't know, maybe like Ninjago needs a what if like Marvel, but like better. I mean, I liked season 1 and 2 of What If, but season 3 was just a mess. But like, if Cole was the Green Ninja, so many things would have changed, honestly. Like, I don't know, like, I think it's more interesting for Lloyd to be the Green Ninja because it brings in that whole father-son, like, dynamic and, like, all that angst. But if Cole was the Green Ninja, I think it would make a lot of sense. He would have been a great Green Ninja. I think he is a character with a very strong moral compass, and I think he's just, like, I think he just has that heroism, that natural heroism in him. That would have been so interesting. I love this comment so much. Thank you for writing this. I don't know if I would want him to actually have been the Green Ninja, because I like how Lloyd is the Green Ninja, but I do see a world in which that happens, and I think that would have been cool. I think it would be worth it for Lego to, like, invest in, like, a Ninjago what if one day, like, in the future. Okay, I don't know if this is a hot take, but I don't like the dragon wings in Dragon's Rising. Most dragon wings are way too small. It works for longer looking dragons like Xanth, but on dragons like Heatwave it just looks wrong, especially when he flies. Okay, I think I agree with you a little bit, because sometimes I watch the show and I'm like, oh, why are Heatwave's wings so small? It, like, throws me off a little. So I do think I agree with you in that sense, but let's look at Xanth and let's see if I agree with you completely. I'm not really remembering how Xanth's wings look. Okay, yeah, I agree with you. I don't like the small wings. I think the small wings are throwing me off a little. Yeah, I don't like that. I just realized you said it works on Xanth, but I don't think it works on Xanth. I do agree with you that I don't like Heatwave small wings. I think Heatwave would be Heatwave would fit much better with larger wings. Definitely Heatwave is more of like a stoic, like, kind dragon, but I think Heatwave is also very intense and, like, looks out for others, and those huge wings would, like, kind of indicate that stoicness, but, like, heroism. Yeah, I agree with you on the Heatwave part. But Xanth, I don't think it works. Okay, last hot take for today. Season 4 was not as good as people give it credit for. I've been thinking about this one too. I sort of agree. I think the first half of season 4 is really great, and I think it does deserve all that credit and love. I think it is very good. But the last, like, the back half of the season, oh, it always drags for me. I'm always like, why are we still doing this? Let's go back to the tournament. They should have made the tournament longer, in my opinion. I don't think they should have cut it off like they did in that episode where they're, like, in the forest or whatever. I forget what they're doing in the forest. I do think the whole thing with Garmadon at the end kind of redeems it a bit for me, but yeah, I think the back half just drags a bit, and people always forget about the back half, and I think it does get a lot of love when the back half isn't really that good, and I think people need to rewatch the back half. But yeah, I think I half agree with you, because I love the first half, but I do not like the back half. Okay, so that's all for hot takes. Thank you so much for giving your hot takes. These were also interesting, and, like, I love hearing different opinions to mine. I think I half agreed with most of them, which is funny. I don't know, I really like these, and I think I'm just very appreciative for you guys leaving these comments. So thank you so much for commenting, and thank you so much for subscribing. It's crazy that there's 500 of you here. Thank you so much, and stay tuned for more videos. Let me know what else you'd like to see. I'm already working on some things, so let me know what else you'd like to see in the meantime. I also like to talk about Marvel too, if you want to hear stuff like that. I'm probably going to do a Marvel video in the future, and maybe some other Lego content. I'm also a big Monkey Kid fan, so yeah. But thank you guys so much for 500 subscribers again. I really appreciate it. It means the world to me. And yeah, see you later. Bye!